I woke up before the sun that day. Something felt wrong. It was too quiet. The kind of quiet that presses down on your chest. I turned over to reach for him. But his side of the bed was cold. The pillow untouched. The sheets too perfect. I sat up slowly. Maybe he was downstairs, making coffee, feeding the dog. But the house was empty. So painfully empty. No sounds. No footsteps. Just stillness. And then I saw it. A small white envelope on the dining table. My name on it. In his handwriting. I stood there for a minute. Just staring at it. My heart was racing. My fingers shook as I picked it up. I already knew it wasn't going to be good. It started with 2 words. I'm sorry. That's how it began. And in a few short sentences, my life unraveled. He said he needed to leave. To find himself. That he hadn't been happy in years. That it wasn't about me. That he still loved me. But he had to go. That was it. No warning. No real explanation. After 40 years together, he left a note and walked out. I sat down at the table, letter in hand, and I just stared at the wall. For what felt like hours. My mind refused to process it. I remember thinking, how do you just stop being a we? How do you become just me? We had a life, a history, a routine. He used to bring me tea every morning. We used to walk in the park every Sunday. We raised 2 kids. We buried a dog. We got old together. Or at least I thought we did. And now he was gone. Without saying goodbye. Without giving me the chance to ask why. I didn't cry that first day. I just floated. Through the house. Through my memories. Through the echo of his absence. I found his slippers by the back door. His glasses on the nightstand. His smell on the pillow. And still no answers. Just a hollow in my chest. And a silence that screamed louder than any fight we'd ever had. People say you always see the signs afterward. But I didn't. I didn't see it coming. Or maybe I didn't want to. The second morning was worse. That's when I let myself feel it. I screamed. I sobbed into the bathroom towel. I threw a mug at the wall. And then I sat in the mess. And whispered to myself, what the hell just happened? I didn't have the answer. But I knew this was just the beginning. Of something painful. Of something I wasn't ready for. But I also knew. I had to find out the truth. I had to know what he wasn't telling me. And so, on the 3rd morning, I opened the closet. I pulled out the box of old letters and receipts and photos. I poured myself a black coffee. And I started looking, not just for him, but for every missing piece of the life I thought we shared. Because I wasn't going to let him disappear like a ghost. I needed answers. I deserved them. And deep down, I had a feeling that what I'd find would be far worse than just a man running away. The closet smelled like cedar and dust. It had been his space. His jackets. His shoes. His favorite flannel shirts. I used to joke that I wasn't allowed to touch anything in there. And I didn't. Not until he left. That morning something pushed me. I slid the door open. Slowly. As if I might find him hiding inside. Of course he wasn't. But what I did find was worse. A second phone. Hidden in the pocket of his old winter coat. The one I hadn't seen him wear in years. My hands went numb. I pulled it out like it was a snake. It was off. Dead. I found the charger buried in the back of the sock drawer. And I waited, watching the screen flicker to life. One message popped up. Then another. And another. All from the same number. A woman's name I didn't recognize. Emma. My heart dropped. I opened the messages. The first one said, I miss you already. The next one, is she suspicious? And then, please don't make me wait another year. I felt like the floor disappeared. This wasn't just a midlife crisis. This wasn't a man finding himself. This was a second life. A lie. A woman named Emma. How long had it been going on? A year? More? I scrolled through the photos. There they were. On a beach. In the mountains. At a wedding that wasn't ours. Him in a suit. Her in white. My stomach twisted. I ran to the sink. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. Was I crazy? Was I the other woman and didn't know it? I sat on the floor, hugging my knees. And I remembered something stupid. 1 year, on our anniversary, he brought me lilies. I hate lilies. He knew that. But he said they were all the florist had left. Now I wondered, did he buy roses that day? For her? I laughed. And cried. At the same time. The kind of laugh that sounds like a scream. That's when the anger came in. Sharp. Blinding. I wanted to smash everything. The photos. The phone. His stupid shaving kit still in the drawer. But I didn't. I was too tired. I just curled up on the carpet like a child. And whispered. Why? No one answered. But deep down, I knew. I'd known for a while. I just hadn't wanted to see it. Love makes you blind. Comfortable. Safe. Until one day, you wake up in someone else's lie. I didn't sleep that night. Not even for a minute. I sat at the kitchen table with the second phone in front of me. Like it might suddenly explain everything. Like it might start talking. But it just sat there. Cold. Silent. Like him. My mind kept spinning. Who was Emma? Where did they meet? Did my kids know? Did his brother? His co-workers? Was I the only one living in this fantasy? At 7 a.m. I texted him. Just one word. Why? He didn't answer. I tried calling. Straight to voicemail. I left a message. Then another. I told him I knew. That I saw the photos. That I read the messages. Still nothing. I tried Emma's number. It rang once. Then went silent. And after that, blocked. I wasn't ready for how fast I became a ghost. Invisible in my own marriage. Unseen in the story I had helped write. I didn't know what to do next. So I did what I always do when I panic. I cleaned. I vacuumed the bedroom. I scrubbed the fridge. I rearranged the spice rack. And then I sat on the kitchen floor and cried into a bag of frozen peas. I called my daughter. She didn't pick up. I didn't leave a message. What would I even say? Your father might be a bigamist. Have a nice day? I opened Facebook. His profile was still up. Still married to me. Still smiling in our anniversary picture from 2 years ago. And then I noticed something. A woman had commented on an old post. A simple heart emoji. Her name? Emma. My hands went ice cold. She was there. In plain sight. Leaving her footprints in my life. And I was too blind to notice. I clicked her name. Her profile was private. But her profile picture was with him. His arm around her. At a vineyard. Smiling like the happiest man alive. I stared at that image for a long time. I memorized every detail. Her hair. Her necklace. The shirt he was wearing, the one I gave him last Christmas. The air left my lungs. I had lost him long before he walked out. I just didn't know it yet. And suddenly, I didn't know who I was anymore. Not a wife. Not really a mother. Just a woman with a broken history and no map forward. That night, I looked in the mirror. Really looked. And I said to myself, you're not crazy. You're not broken. You're still here. And for the first time in days, I believed it. Just a little. It was 4 days after he left. 4 long days of silence. And then he called. I saw his name flash on my screen and my stomach flipped. For a second, I forgot everything. For a second, I thought, he's coming home. I picked up. I didn't even say hello. Just sat there. He spoke first. His voice was calm. Like he'd just come back from the store. I didn't want it to happen like this, he said. I didn't respond. Because I didn't trust my own voice. Emma wasn't planned, he added. I laughed. Sharp. Dry. Neither was this call, I said. He sighed. Like he was tired. Like I was the one bothering him. We didn't mean to fall in love. It just happened. I didn't know how to tell you. I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered. How long? A pause. 3 years. My whole body went still. 3 years. While we were celebrating anniversaries. While we were taking our granddaughter to the zoo. While I was lying next to him every night. He was already living a double life. She's pregnant, he said. And that's when I broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just inside. Like something cracked at the very core of me. You made a new family, I said. And you didn't even have the decency to end the old one first. He was quiet. I could hear traffic in the background. Like he was already far away. I didn't want to hurt you, he said. I nearly dropped the phone. You didn't want to hurt me? I wanted to say so much more. But the words didn't come. I realized, in that moment, nothing I said would change anything. He had already moved on. He was already someone else's man. Someone else's future. And I was just a shadow in his rearview mirror. I hung up. I didn't say goodbye. Didn't ask for closure. He didn't deserve that. I sat on the porch for hours after, watching the sky turn from pink to gray. And for the first time, I stopped asking, why did he do this? And started asking, what do I do now? Because I couldn't change the past. But maybe I could rewrite what came next. After the call, I didn't speak to anyone for 3 days. I turned off my phone, closed the blinds. I didn't want to explain. Didn't want the pity, or the questions, or the fake comfort. I just wanted to disappear. I stayed in my pajamas, ate cereal from the box, watched mindless TV until the screen blurred. I wasn't sad. Not exactly. I was numb. I felt like a woman-shaped shell. And under that was anger. Not just at him. At me. At the version of me that ignored the signs. At the woman who made excuses for his coldness. Who smiled through holidays that felt empty. Who told friends, oh, he's just tired from work. I lied for him. I softened the edges so he wouldn't look like a villain. And somewhere in all of that, I forgot who I was. I became a background character in my own life. That's what hurt the most. Not the betrayal, but how easy it was to erase me. I looked in the mirror that night. Really looked. I saw wrinkles and tired eyes, but I also saw anger and, strangely, strength. Something in me had survived. Something small, but alive. The next morning I got dressed. Not for anyone else. For me. I put on mascara, lipstick, earrings. I hadn't worn earrings in weeks. And then I drove. I didn't know where. Just away. Somewhere I could think. I ended up in front of a church. Not for God, but for silence. I sat in the last pew and cried. Not loud. Not messy. Just quietly. Like grief had finally caught up. An old woman sitting next to me didn't say a word. She just reached over, touched my hand, and whispered, "You're not the first. You won't be the last. But you will survive." I didn't ask her name. I didn't need to. Her words stayed with me, all the way home. And I knew, if I wanted to rebuild, I had to stop hiding. I had to stop blaming myself. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I loved him. Fully. Faithfully. And he left anyway. That didn't make me a fool. That made him a coward. And me. A woman who would rise. Eventually. I didn't want to go. Every part of me wanted to stay home. To stay small. To stay invisible. But I knew if I didn't leave the house, I'd disappear. I Googled. Support group for women after divorce. I found one. Tuesday night. Church basement. Free tea and awkward chairs. Perfect. I almost turned around twice on the way there. My hands were sweating on the steering wheel. My chest was tight. I felt like a teenager again, terrified of not fitting in. But I went and sat in the back and stared at my shoes. The room was full of women. Older, younger. Some smiled. Some didn't. No one asked me why I was there. They just made space. The woman leading the group had silver hair and a voice like a warm blanket. She said, "You don't have to share. But if you want to, we're listening." For the first 30 minutes, I stayed quiet. But then, another woman spoke. She was maybe 50. Soft-spoken. Said her husband left after 27 years. For a yoga instructor. She laughed through tears. Said she couldn't look at yoga pants without wanting to scream. Everyone laughed. Me too. For the first time in weeks. And then I opened my mouth. I didn't plan to. I just did. "My name is Nora," I said. My voice cracked. "And my husband left after 40 years. For someone else. He has a baby on the way." I feel like a ghost in my own life. No one gasped. No one judged. One woman nodded slowly and said, "I felt that too. Like I didn't exist outside of being his wife." That hit me. Because that's exactly it. I hadn't been just me in a long time. After the group, one of the women walked me to my car. Her name was Linda. Divorced. Twice. She gave me her number. Said, "Call me when you feel like screaming. Or laughing. Or burning his sweaters." I smiled. A real one. And I realized something. Pain isolates you. But truth? Truth brings people closer. That night, I made a promise to myself. No more shame. No more silence. I would talk. I would write. I would not disappear. I'd spent 40 years being someone's wife. Now, I was ready to meet Nora. Just Nora. And I had a feeling. She was worth knowing. It's been 7 weeks. Since the note. Since the second phone. Since the call that cracked me open. And somehow, I'm still here. Breathing. Laughing even. Yesterday, I danced in my kitchen. Alone. To a song I hadn't heard in years. And I didn't cry. I just danced. My hips still remember joy. My shoulders? A little stiff. But they moved. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to enjoy my own company. I take long walks now. Without explaining where I'm going. I buy flowers. Just for me. I say no without guilt. I read books at night with the window open. And sometimes, when I hear the wind, I smile. Because I'm no longer waiting for someone to come home. I'm already home. And you know what's funny? He still hasn't apologized. Not really. Not in the way I need it. But I no longer need it. His silence isn't mine to fix. His choices aren't mine to carry. He walked out of the story. I stayed. I rewrote the pages. And now, there's room for everything he made small. My voice. My joy. My name. Nora. Not Mrs. Not his wife. Just Nora. Who wears red lipstick on Sundays. Who bakes muffins at midnight. Who can start a new life. Even after 60. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm in bloom. And maybe I'll fall in love again. Maybe not. But I'm not looking for someone to save me anymore. I want someone who sees me. All of me. And if that never comes, I'll still be okay. Because for the first time in my life, I've fallen in love with myself. And that's the real beginning. Not the ending. Thank you for listening to my story. If something in it touched you, I'm glad we met here, in this quiet space between voices. If you noticed a mistake in the voiceover, feel free to let me know in the comments. I use AI narration for now, since I don't have my own mic yet. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. And now, I'd love to hear from you. What would you have done in Nora's place? Have you ever had to rebuild your life from the ground up? Let's talk in the comments. Your voice matters too.